You keep that up, I'm going to start showing clips from Alien vs. Predator. Requiem. Sometimes all it takes is the proper motivation.
Why do you want to hunt?
Because you all think that I can't. I saw a sign in the sky. I'm ready.
Maui, Nita.
Let's be honest with each other. The Predator franchise has not been the most successful when it comes to sequels. The first Predator film was a brilliant and simple concept. Take a bunch of 80s cliched muscly macho men action heroes and have them go up against something that's bigger and badder. Predator 2 continued that theme by inserting the creature into the loose cannon action cop cliche. And then the franchise went quiet for 14 years until it was revived in less of a Frankenstein, it's alive sort of thing, and more of a Dawn of the Dead, they're eating our brains kind of way, with 2004's Alien vs. Predator film, which, let's be honest, didn't do the franchise any favours. In fact, the best thing you can say about the first AVP film was that it wasn't the second AVP film. Yeesh. Since then, we've had Predators in 2010 and The Predator in 2018. And what the AVP movies and the subsequent Predator sequels seem to all have in common is that they all suck. Yes, they have had different degrees of suck, but there is definite suckage going on. The main reason for this seems to fall into the same reasons why the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World sequels got so bad. They were all way too goddamn complicated. Which leads us to Prey, which is the first Predator film since Disney took over the franchise. And you know what? It's fucking brilliant! The film follows Naru, a female Comanche way back in 1719. In true Disney princess style, she's told she can't be a hunter because girl. So she sets off to be a hunter and prove everyone wrong despite girl. Her timing on this kinda sucks though, because one of the first ever predators to visit Earth has landed in the area and proceeds to prove itself to be the biggest, the baddest, and the scariest thing anyone has ever seen. Yeah, that's it. And that's all it needs to be.
You ugly son of a...
This movie kicks ass. It's got a great but simple story. It's got a fantastic lead in the form of Amber Midthunder. Even with the extremely limited dialogue contained in the film, she perfectly portrays the feeling of wanting more from her life than what her tribe expects of her. It has an amazing setting. This was filmed in some of the most beautiful parts of Calgary and Alberta in Canada, and cinematographer Jeff Cutter took full advantage of it. There are some glorious shots of amazing landscapes all throughout. It'd almost work as a travel video if everything didn't wind up completely covered in blood. Oh yeah, this movie's gory as hell. But best of all, it has a terrifying new depiction of the Predator. Over the past 35 years, the world has gotten a little too used to the Predator and how it looks. Heck, it's been part of a line of kids' action figures and appeared in an Archie comic book, which means that it's very tough to be scared by it anymore. The AVP films and the recent sequels all tried updating the look with some heavy small dick energy, giving the creature bigger spikes and bigger tusks and bigger mandibles, all of which made it look more cartoony rather than scary. But this film has managed to create a new look that, while recognizable as the Predator, it is its own new creature. They evolved the Predator by devolving it. This movie is set 300 years before the first one. As humans were radically different people, so was the Predators. Gone is the shoulder laser cannon and some of the more high-tech stuff, all replaced by spikes and spears and edge weapons. Even the old familiar mask is gone, replaced with what looks like a skull from a former trophy. And then there's the way the Predator is utilised during the film. For pretty much the first half, the Predator is much more of a presence that is slowly making itself known. A footprint, a noise in the woods, scrapes on a tree, the remains of an earlier hunt. It remains in its signature invisibility cloak for most of its earlier appearances, having brief moments where the cloak phases in and out as it is affected by outside elements. There's also a fantastic sequence of events that shows the Predator working its way up through the food chain, finding the hunters and challenging them one by one. It isn't interested in easy prey. It only wants to fight what can fight back. You want to play dirty? So will I. I know I keep gushing about the Predator itself, but the human cast are all truly marvellous. Naru is beset from all sides by members of her tribe. Her mother, her brother, other hunters, all telling her to get back in her lane, which makes her determination all the more sweeter. And she is definitely not a Mary Sue. She fails, she misses, she messes up, but she gets back up and tries harder, invoking all those fantastic female heroes of the 80s and early 90s. This girl gets dirt on her face and blood on her hands, and you are there with her during every moment. The one negative moment I can point out was an almost inevitable callback. They used a very famous line from the first film, not the chopper one, luckily, and it really pissed me off. But considering how good the rest of the film is, I'll let that one slide. The original Predator movie was meant as a parody, but Stan Winston and the wonderful Kevin Peter Hall helped create one of the more iconic creatures of 80s sci-fi. And it has been so disappointing to see how wrong everyone gets what should be an incredibly simple concept. But this film understood exactly what it was playing with and made the absolute best of it. Stripped of all its unnecessary baggage, we finally get exactly what the Predator was always meant to be. The biggest, the baddest, and the single most terrifying asshole you could ever cross swords with. Take note, all you failing franchises and ridiculous reboots. This is how you bring a monster back. Oh my god, it's Ridley Scott! Ever since Prometheus came out, that works every time.